Welcome to another Forex Early Warning Monday night webinar. We do 3 webinars every week. Today's webinar is to analyze one individual currency pair and show you how to read the charts and where the support and resistance levels are. It's free to attend to anybody. We also do 2 webinars on Wednesday nights. We do one that covers the educational content, like we pick one specific lesson, and then the later one in the evening is a market review of what's going on in the market at that moment. We record these webinars and they're on the homepage within the first 12 hours after the recording, and then they get moved to, then they're available on the webinars page for a week. And then if you need a historical one, go to our Twitter feed and you can find the ones that are a week or 2 weeks older. So we will discuss the charts tonight, Rick and I will, and then afterwards we'll open up for questions. So if you have any questions, please hold them until the end. If you have a long one, type it up and then type like you in the queue at the end, and we'll wait for you. We usually won't wait around too long. We'll conduct multiple time frame analysis on one individual currency group. It'll be the USD pair tonight. We look at support and resistance levels to find the entry point and the targets to see if there is any room to move. So Rick and I will actually review the market before we start the webinar. We look at the weekly, daily, and 4-hour time frames to find out what the trends are doing, and we fill it out on the analysis spreadsheet, which will take each individual pair, the USD, for example, and break it into the Euro and the USD to find out if that USD is driving the market, if it's strong or weak, or if the Euro is strong or weak. And we do that on all 28 pairs. So it breaks it into the individual currencies that we analyze. Then we pick the best of the best and do an analysis in the webinar for you guys. So by analyzing it this way, the same way over and over, we want you to be able to duplicate it and analyze the market the same way, see where the bigger trends are, see who's driving the market, where the currencies are strong and weak, and then be able to match up with our second opinion trading plans and repeat it. So because we're only doing one individual currency, we want you guys to do all the other ones on your own as well. We have all our whole lessons and all our resources cover our whole system. So go analyze the lessons, go to the free trend indicators lessons, review the videos, review the lesson on the market analysis spreadsheet. That'll help you with the webinar we're doing tonight. But there are also 35 Forex lessons that cover our, like I said, our whole system, even including the Forex heat map, which is our real-time entry tool. So we do the analysis spreadsheet at night manually, but at entry, the Forex heat map does it for you. It shows you what each individual currency is doing at entry, if it's strong or weak. Because if you're planning to buy the USD, you want Euro strong or USD weakness, and the heat map will tell you that. And if it's opposite of that, you know not to take the trade. So with that, I'm going to pass over to Rick, and he'll analyze the USD group.
Should see the analysis sheet up. We'll go over that today first, and then we'll take a look at one complete currency group. A lot of volatility in the market, a lot of mixed trends in the market. We'll take a look one by one. Take a look at the dollar group. We have W1 and D1 dollar strength. Pretty solid. 4 hours a little bit mixed up, which indicates that there's some kind of consolidation going on. The Swissy group, we had some Swissy strength in the market, and the W1, D1 is a little bit mixed, and the 4 hours largely no trend mixed as well. Euro, we had some Euro strength, and it's come out of the market in a couple things. One against the dollar, and long term against the Swiss. So those are weakening against the dollar and the Swiss. The Euro is weakening against the dollar and the Swiss. However, it's on some of the other trends, it's still maintaining some strength. So a little bit of mixed signal with the Euro. Yen, same thing. We had some great yen strength on the W1, and it's coming out of the D1 and the 4 hour. Pound, there was a lot of pound weakness in the W1 and D1, and once again, it's starting to come out of the 4 hour, so we're seeing some consolidation there. Aussie's largely a mess except for the W1, which means there's no short-term trends to kind of go along with or to kind of help us along with the W1 downtrend, Aussie's weakness. CAD is largely mixed as well, except for the W1, and New Zealand, same thing. W1, New Zealand weakness, and then the 4 hour and the D1, nothing going on. We thought that for the purpose of today's lesson that the dollar was the best group to take a look at. We've got W1 and D1 trends in place, and we have a 4 hour consolidation. So we'll be looking at the dollar group today in the direction of dollar strength, which you know, these trends are pretty solid on the D1 and the W1. So I think that's the best group to take a look at today. Still waiting on some other pairs and groups to kind of either consolidate and break some of the consolidations or reverse off of some of these longer term trends and give us a new direction. let me get my charts up here and we'll move forward. Okay, should see the charts at this point. Got all the W1 trends up. You can see the euro dollar going down, pound dollar going down, Aussie dollar going down, New Zealand dollar going down, and the other three, we've got the dollar CAD going up. Obviously, dollar's on the opposite side of the trade. The dollar Swissy is trying to go up, but we have a lot of resistance in the way. And the yen's the same way. The dollar yen's the same way. It's trying to go up, but we have some resistance in the way. So let's just take a look one by one and see what we've got here. Long-term downtrend, the W1 downtrend on the euro dollar. The D1 had pulled up really hard, stalled, and it came right back down. Taking a look long-term on this pair, we've got quite a ways to go back, almost to 2017 before we find some support on this thing. So room to move on this pair is going to be based off of this W1 chart. Off the bottom here, you've got 71 to the first level and 146 to the second level. So getting past that first level might be a little bit tricky. Take a look at the D1, and we are a little bit off of. We pulled a little bit off of the lows, but we're going to be watching the area of the lows right here of about 1.0635 approximately, and we're quite a ways away from the market, over 100 pips away from the market at that level. You can see this pair is pulled back on the 4-hour, and it's a huge range of consolidation. So about 185 pip range of consolidation. At this point, we're not sure whether this pair is going to continue in this long-term downtrend. Pretty much take a look at, you can say that about all the dollar pairs. It's stalling very, very hard on the 4-hour, and it remains to be seen whether it's going to continue into the long-term downtrend, the W1 downtrend, or it's going to reverse. Right now, we just know that we have a W1 downtrend in place, and the 4-hour is going sideways, consolidating, and it's in a huge range. So top to bottom on this range is probably 180 to 190 pips, and we're right in the middle of that junk right now. So you can't do anything really substantial until it picks a direction. We're hoping that it goes into the long-term downtrend W1 trend. If it comes back and touches the highs and we get a fresh cross on the 4-hour, and then a day later on the D1, maybe we'll take another look at this pair going in the opposite direction. But right now we're taking a look at the dollar strength in the direction of the long-term W1 downtrend. So the potential isn't that great. We've got initial potential of 71 pips, but maybe as much as 140 to 150 past that. Past that point. So it might be a little bit tricky to get past that first level of resistance, but that's what we're looking at. Taking a look at the pound dollar, same situation. This pair broke out of some major support, and you pretty much got to look at the monthly chart. You can see that there's nothing going back to 2006 in the way at this point. So this pair has moved down pretty hard past some old support levels, and we're starting to consolidate here on the D1. We've been going sideways for about 3 or 4 days now. We've got to break out of these lows. Let's just take a look at the 4-hour and see where most of the support is at 1.1450. We have a little wispy spike at about 1.1400. We're currently trading about 110 pips off that level right now. So once again, 4-hour going sideways, and it's the same situation. As long as we're in this range of this one's about 400 pip range. So pound, usually pound pairs have a few more pips available when they do start to trend. This one's in a huge range right now. We're watching these lows to get back into that long-term W1 downtrend. If it does cycle back up and we get some kind of a reversal, we're going to have to wait and see how that pans out over the next couple of days. Right now, we're just looking at dollar strength in the direction of the long-term W1 downtrend. So we do have we don't even know how much room to move we have. So based off of the W1 chart and the monthly chart, we're in new territory we haven't seen in quite a while. We'd have to go to another chart package and see what's available earlier than September 2006. Let's take a look at the Aussie dollar W1 downtrend in place. Same situation with the support. You have to look at a long-term monthly chart, and you can kind of see where we're at. You have to go back to almost 2002 to find some support. That's how far back you've got to go to find some support. This pair has pulled back a little bit off the lows. W1 downtrend in place. So you can see we pulled pretty hard off those lows. So we're getting a good consolidation and actually a pretty solid pullback on the 4 hour. So range from this one from top to bottom is about a little over 400 pips, 470 pips, and we're right in the middle of that as well on the 4 hour. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. You'd have to break this lower level of support right here at about 0.5666. We're quite a ways away from that right now. This pair is oscillating pretty hard. Past there, we've got about 155 pips of potential to get to the ultimate lows, and then there's all kinds of room past there. But right now, we're just kind of oscillating inside this huge range. Once again, it's this week and last couple of weeks have been very, very volatile. We're seeing some huge pip swings in some of these pairs, and we're just waiting for some consolidations and the market to kind of pick a direction. We'd like the market to move into the the major downtrends. In this case, it's the W1 downtrend, but that remains to be seen. We're waiting for a kind of a break of this 4 hour consolidation, 4 hour, 1 hour consolidation. But we're quite a ways away from the market at this point, and this pair's got a little bit of work to do. New Zealand dollar on the weekly chart, long-term downtrend in place. Similarly, we've got to look at a monthly chart to find some support. We've got about 600 or 700 pips ultimately of potential, but we've got a problem here with the near-term support. Once again, this pair pulled back really hard, and we're about 200 pips off the level there. Let's take a look at a 1 hour chart and figure out where the support is on this pair. So we've got just over 100 pips of potential from this lower level to this spike right here. So I would say safe, to be safe, you'd have to get below this level of about 0.5585. Past there, you've got a little over 100 pips of potential to get to that low, and then if the W1 trend continues, you've got a lot more pips available. But from where we're trading right now down to those lows, you're looking at about 118 pips. So this pair has some work to do before it even gets down to that lower level, break of that support level, and then we've got over 100 pips of potential going down. But right now, we're in the middle of that 4 hour, 1 hour consolidation. It becomes a little bit dangerous to trade inside that level, and there's always the chance with all these dollar pairs that they could reverse, and we could see a reversal on some of these 4 hours too. We'd like to trade it in the direction of the established W1 trend, but the pair could reverse off the 4 hour and give us a trip going back up to the upside. But we'll have to wait and see. The dollar CAD, the dollar is on the opposite side, so you'd be expecting that one to go up, and it is going up on the W1. The D1 looks very, very good as well, and we're consolidating on the 4 hour price alarm approximately 1.4655. We're quite a bit ways away from the market. We're at 1.4478 right now, 79. So what is that, about 80 pips, 70, 80 pips off that level. But past there on the monthly chart, you're pretty much into new territory all the way back to 2006 as well. So we're seeing some very, very long-term historical highs being challenged and broken right now. Haven't seen stuff like this haven't seen price action like this in quite a long time, and the market is extremely volatile right now. Dollar Swiss on the weekly chart moved up hard, but it's going into a lot of areas of support and resistance, and we have a lot of resistance in the way on this pair. Taking a look at the dollar Swiss on the D1, we've moved up to a fairly decent resistance level, and it's pulled back from that level a little bit. You can see it better on the 4 hour. If the pair does move higher, I'd like to see it get above 0.9890. We're at about 98.35 right now, so the pair's got a little bit of work to do. Even from there, though, you only got about 129, 130 pips of potential before you run into another resistance area. So not the best as far as pip potential, but the dollar is strengthening across the board, and we do have a nice consolidation on the 4-hour. Last pair in the group is the dollar yen. Dollar yen looks similar to the dollar Swiss. It's moving up into an area of resistance. Looks very, very similar, and probably the hiccup here is going to be room to move. You've only got about 80 pips of potential on that pair. That's a little bit less than we like to see. So I think for the purpose of this one, just watching and see what goes on. If it breaks that higher level, might be interested. I think there's more pips available if it breaks that level from where it is right here. You've got about 200 pips of potential, but it's got to get past that level first. It's a little bit too risky to trade it up to that point at this stage in the game. So we're looking at these from the long-term basis, and the short-term 1-hour and 4-hour charts. A lot of these pairs have some work to do to get to where we need to be able to safely trade them. I think that if the dollar strength does come into play, that these pairs absolutely have the potential to even move further in the long-term W1 trends. If the dollar strength continues against a lot of these pairs, we'll have to wait and see what the next week holds.